folks. Welcome in to another great episode of I've Got a Theory. I'm Henish. I'm here with my guest, Steve Brant, who's a realtor friend. I've known him for 10, 12 plus years, and we're reconnecting here, and he's told me that he's a fan of the show, so excited to have him on. Steve, we're not talking real estate.
We are not talking real estate.
Unless if the real estate was the planet Earth.
Yeah, this is exactly. So what today we're going to talk about is aliens.
Okay, I like that. I like talking aliens.
So it actually goes back to grade school. I did a report on something called the Nazca lines. Have you ever heard of those?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
In Peru and stuff like that?
Correct.
Yeah.
They're these lines that you could only see from the air, and they only discovered them well after we created flight. So they're really intricate features and creatures and things like that. And that got me started thinking in this realm all along. It's something that I've kind of been formulating different theories about all the time.
Yeah, it's a popular topic. People love to think about what is out there and have they visited us.
Well, of course, because we've had some weird circumstances that truly are unexplained.
Okay, yep.
And you just saw there was a recent Navy video that was released. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah. And that's unexplainable, how these objects move, and it's from Navy aircraft and radar. So it's Where is this coming from? So it got me thinking. I just started thinking, okay, well, one theory could be that aliens actually have visited here. Maybe they have advancements in travel technology, but that's about it. Mm-hmm. So there's no way for them to do anything where they can even interact with us in a relative way. Maybe they don't have any advanced communication skills. But then it got me thinking on this one tangent. And I thought I saw some video where they showed aliens being dissected in Area 51. Yep. Who knows if that? I think that video's been debunked as false or whatever. But so I don't know for sure, obviously, if that's a legit video. But assuming it is, what if? Assuming we're moving along this path of artificial intelligence, there's two things that could happen. One is, what if at sometime in the future we've evolved as a species to the point where we really no longer need all these other features of our bodies that we currently utilize.
Okay.
And so they have these visions of these aliens, which are pretty much all head, like large heads, skinny bodies, and no sex organs. They appear to be sexless, just like this entity.
Yep.
Okay, well, that would make sense if over a period of evolution you figured something out. And they also say that if you've read stories or heard videos on people who claim they've been abducted, they claim that they hear things. There's some sort of mental connection. The alien is actually talking to them, or they have had experiences. I thought, oh, well, that makes sense too, because we would probably advance our own capabilities of doing some level of mental telepathy, and it could be in conjunction with some sort of science-based technology.
Sure, absolutely.
Lastly, on this other theory goes, well, it's also possible that because we're getting advanced in robotics, if we were working on time travel, wouldn't the first things we send through would be robots? Why would we risk humans?
100%. It's the same way we're going to explore the solar system currently.
Exactly.
We don't send people to Mars.
Exactly.
We've sent robots there.
Exactly.
Yeah. We haven't sent Voyagers, 1 and 2 out of the solar system with a person on it.
Yep.
They're just on their own and sending back data still, right? 40 years later.
Yes.
Which is incredible. So yeah, I agree with you that I don't think organic human life forms or any life form that evolved on this planet is suitable for space travel.
Probably not.
And so we would send the robots.
So you could either have two things. You could either have time travel, where we've discovered time travel, and we're actually just traveling back in time, visiting different parts of the world back in time. The other thing could be there are aliens who they are actually sending their synthetic beings, and perhaps it's a combination of flesh and computer.
Yeah. And
those are that's what we're visited with.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that I think that we only get visited by pure drones that are 100% not organic.
Now, the real mystery is, why would this be such a dark secret that cannot be possibly shared?
That's the interesting point, right? Because if you figure there must be hundreds or thousands or more intelligent alien life that could have visited us, at least one of them has got to be the bad boy that says, hey, I'm just going to show them who I am. Unless there's some kind of intergalactic allegiance that says that, hey, we won't reveal ourselves to lower species until they've evolved to understand what we're up to.
Like Star Trek.
Yeah, something like that, right? So we're not going to disturb them until they can figure out how to do space travel like us, and then we can share, right?
So then, if there's this mission of aliens they're allowed to visit, but they're not allowed to interact. But perhaps we have gotten access to some of their technology.
You think?
Well, there's that other, I forgot his name, but it's a pretty famous guy who was supposedly an employee at Area 51.
Okay.
And there's a Netflix documentary on this guy.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I didn't see it. I saw it existed.
It's fascinating because he gives like really specific information and specific details, and he claims that that's what happened. He was part of the division that was working on the propulsion systems.
To reverse engineer.
To reverse engineer, and he said the one thing that we couldn't, it was an anti-gravity thing. And he said the way the propulsion systems worked would be like, imagine if you're sitting in a bed and you put a bowling ball in the bed, and then you press heavy next to the bowling ball. What happens to the bowling ball?
It gets heavier?
No, it will roll towards your hand.
Oh, gotcha.
So
like you push down the bed.
You push down. Sorry. Yeah, you have the bowling ball on the bed.
Yeah, so you make a lower point.
You make a lower point, and it just naturally is going to go that way. And he said that's kind of the way this propulsion system works.
They generate some kind of false
negative, in front of them,
above it,
and then it just sucks the thing into
the void of where the gravity was. Yeah. So it sounds something like 0 point energy.
I have no idea.
0 point energy is basically they're saying that the amount of force that keeps an atom together, right, the proton and the neutron tied to the electron, can be harvested to extract it almost limitless amount of power.
Wow.
Because that's the nuclear force within the atom itself, right?
Yeah.
So that's what fission and fusion are about. Is like splitting those and exploiting that with our primitive explosive technology. But imagine if you could harvest that energy without the heat, radiation, and stuff like that. So that's the concept of 0 point energy. Is that once we can harvest that, then we've solved some of these energy problems. Because theoretically, you're right. They've talked about warp drives and bending time and space and these other technologies. The biggest limitation seems to be not just the detailed understanding of the technology, it's harvesting enough energy to be able to provide that. Because theoretically, they've done the calculations and there's nothing that exists that we can generate that kind of power for our theoretical device to do those things.
Because we don't know how to generate.
We don't know how to generate that kind of power yet, based on what we've got currently.
Well, according to this guy, too, there was a specific element that is not found on Earth that is what powered this system. And he said that was the one thing that they couldn't replicate. They couldn't figure it out.
Right.
Because it was some certain element that, I forgot what he called it. It's actually a pretty fascinating
I'll have to check it out.
Documentary.
Yeah. Interesting. So the crux of your theory is that if aliens have visited, why aren't they sharing? Why aren't they sharing that they're here?
Well, the theory is that it's either time travel.
Yeah.
It's us traveling back in the future, or the other thing is it's just that is kind of actually where the theory I think goes to, because
you think it could be us in the future, maybe not other alien species.
Correct.
Yeah. It doesn't seem impossible. I don't know the nuances of time travel. I feel like it would be hard to go back in time, even with I think the theory with time and space is that gravity bends time.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
No. Very limited physics.
Yeah, so that's kind of the theory behind it, is that like black holes and suns and things like that bend gravity waves.
Mm-hmm. When
the gravity waves are bending, you're also bending the time with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it gets murky after that. But yeah, there's a point where like in black holes, because they're pulling in so much, and they have so much density, and they're pulling it with so much force, gravitational force, that it bends the time as well. That you could be falling into a black hole seemingly infinitely, because the time is a lost concept at that point.
Wow. Well, you die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not gonna close to it, obviously.
Yes.
Wow. Well, awesome. Well, yeah, I was like chatting about aliens, because do you think we'll find proof of alien existence in our lifetimes?
Who says we haven't already? The problem is
why,
will it already be?
Why wouldn't some nut job at some government share this with us?
I tell you what, part of my presidential platform when I run for president will be, my first step is to go to Area 51, and I will reveal everything that's there.
Do you think there's something that's so notorious or evil or something that's bad that could have come out of it, that's why they're trying to keep it a secret. Because there's something more bad than just, oh, there's aliens.
I know, but the whole point is
Is there a religious bent to it, you think? Is there people that are religious that say, hey, we don't want to prove that aliens exist because that means that there's other planets and they might have different religions or different beliefs, or it invalidates ours?
No way. I mean, that's possible in the 50s. That could have been something, but not now. Like you would think today, it seems like the climate is not even pro-religion. So I mean, it would be like one thing that why would that even?
Okay, I just sort of throwing it out as
yeah. I don't know. I'm actually.
I'm like that's the theory I'd like to explore. Is like, why would people know and keep it a secret even today? Like, what's the secret for?
That's why
protecting.
It also makes me think that it didn't occur, because I just have
that seems more probable.
It seems more probable because you go, well, first of all, how is it possible to keep something like that secret? You would think someone on their deathbed would tell somebody.
Yes.
Or at least provide, like, take some sort of, like, this is too good to hide from people, I have to share it.
Right.
Kind of like that guy did, actually, but he said there was so much intimidation and so much fear around it that when he first reported on it, he did everything hiding, like trying to hide himself.
Well, this is where you have that like hidden envelope that you give to your lawyer that says, "In case I die in a mysterious circumstance."
Yes.
Like hung from a doorknob.
Yes.
Please share this with people.
Yeah. Listen, I know. Thank goodness I'm never there, because I would have been the first one to blab about it. Like, there's no way I could keep a secret as great as we've discovered aliens away from the American population.
Yeah, and the Area 51 thing is bizarre because now we're dissecting dead aliens or broken aircraft.
Yeah.
Where are the live ones?
Who knows? Well, the other interesting thing is that we did have a pretty significant rush in technology after this point.
You don't think that was a natural curve of technological evolution?
I do, but I'm saying, like, if you wanted to if you wanted to add to that conspiracy theory, here's some nuggets that you can throw at it. Because if you think about it, from us until humans until like 1900, essentially, were very primitive.
Yeah, we had no technology, steam power.
Yes,
right.
At that, and that was like water power or whatever else, using gravity,
and then animal power.
Yes,
that was about it.
There's nothing, and then all of a sudden became this digital computer transformation.
Well, that's why I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future. Because think about how fast this is happening.
Could be scary, actually.
If you want to be scared by it, but it's like older people that are scared of social media.
Well, maybe I fall in the demographic of being the older guy scared of them. I will tell you, I look at social media and I go, has it really helped society?
In some concepts, in some angles, I think it does. But I think that there's probably a relationship between age and the level of Luddite that you become, right? That the less resistant, like I'm not gonna, like Facebook's the last social media I get on, and I'm not doing the next thing.
Yes.
Or Instagram's the last thing I do, and then just saw this morning that they're thinking of banning TikTok because it's Chinese and it could be spying on us or whatever it is. So there's always going to be new ones that come out, right? And then now it's like at a certain point, guys our age are saying, I don't have the bandwidth to figure that new thing out.
But what is the I'm going to put on my old school hat, but I'm trying to think of what is the actual. Are people happier? Are they developing closer relationships?
I think you can use it
just being voyeurs in other people's lives and expressing their.
I had this conversation with someone earlier today. We're getting off topic on the internet.
We are way off topic.
I think for guys like us, social media helps as like a validation, right? So when I was talking to a realtor today, she's like, "Oh, I work on my social media." I'm like, "Look, at our age, like you're not going to just find a client out of the blue on social media. But if a client finds you and says, "Let me look this person up," and then they can verify, okay, they're a professional, they're a real person, it looks like they sell houses, then that's where I think it can be helpful. I don't think it can be helpful to like harvest brand new people out of the blue that said, "Oh, I like this person's Instagram photo, let me be their client." Yeah. Versus, "I've heard of this person, or it was a referral, or I met them in a parking lot or a church or something like that, and let me look at what they're doing. Okay, it looks like they sold a couple houses in my area or something." Now that becomes relevant as like a validator in our business. In the social sense, I think you do find value in it because people are connecting that didn't connect before if they use it properly, right? So you can kind of go into it like any kind of personal relationship. which is let's connect and see if there's synergies and benefits in knowing each other. And there's the troll objective too, which is I'm having a bad day or I'm a sad person and I want to project my sadness onto other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's different ways you can do it. Like I try to do it properly and limit my time on it, but I use it for connection purposes mostly.
Are you finding that you're enhancing existing relationships or finding new ones?
Both. Yeah, both. So I still want to give good phone as much as possible.
You give excellent phone.
So I try to give good phone, but then I'm like, hey, connect with me on social media and Facebook because that keeps me top of mind for them. Because now they know, oh, I talked to that guy.
Yes.
Oh, and look, he's selling a house here, or he's doing some construction here, or he's an investor in this. And so I think it just helps as the reinforcement, kind of like as a subliminal CRM, right?
As a business tool.
Yeah, it's a tool, right? I wouldn't put all my eggs in social media, but I think I'd have to spend a few minutes a day on it to stay connected and relevant to people that are seeing what we're doing, just to let them know that we're around and working on it.
Do you think, circling back, do you think the aliens might have any type of social media that they participate in?
100%. I think so. I like to read a lot of like sci-fi books and watch sci-fi shows and movies and stuff like that. I think that we'll get our social media feeds in our head or in our contact lens or in our face that's going to be built into us at a certain point that you're going to have to turn on and off, right? Where you might have a little window pop up that says, he was doing this, he ate literally last night.
Sounds like a little Black Mirror-ish.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Black Mirror. Science fiction is only science fiction until it comes true, right? And then it's like, oh, it's now science fact, which is turned into. I think it does. I think that no matter what, people stay connected and want to know what's going on because we're creating a lot. I think there's a lot of waste in our productivity as humans. So there might hopefully comes a time in the future where we can learn how to become more productive, either with the tools that we have, and not just on social media, right? Because there's only two classes of people. I always make this joke: there's people that work hard and people that complain there's no work, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't spend all your time on social media and say you did a day of work.
Yes. Unless you're social media marketing manager.
Unless you're convincing suckers like us to pay you $1,000 a month to do my social media marketing.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, Steve, thanks for hashing this issue and social media and a few others and being a fan of the show.
I love the show. I feel like I added no value on today's show, but I do value your show, and I will be an earnest and honest and follower of your programming from this point forward, too.
Thanks for joining on, Steve. Appreciate you having me on. And I told him that I know this show's made it once I can get Elon Musk on. So if anyone can pull some strings.
You said it was me when you got me on. You knew about it.
I'm always just
He's making things up. He's
making
making things up.
Now that I've got him, I need to step it up to Elon Musk. That's the only thing about it.
Wow.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate having you on.